Hello and a very warm welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV Midday News live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Fauziye Lukman. President Bola Tinubu, through his media aide, Ajuri Ngilali, on Saturday morning, congratulated the government and people of Liberia for a successful conduct of the Liberian presidential election. He enjoined the President Joseph Boakai to reunite the country and build on popular support expressed through the ballot box to deliver good governance to the people of Liberia. He also lauded the outgoing President George Weah for demonstrating uncommon leadership by conceding the election and averting any form of socio-political crisis. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu will today depart Abuja for Berlin, Germany, to attend the G20 Compact with Africa CWE conference on November 20, 2023, hosted by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. During the conference, President Tinubu will join other head of state and government of CWE member countries, bilateral partners, as well as head of international organizations to deliberate on the immediate enhancement of economic and business cooperation with a view of outlining concrete measures to boost investment in critical areas such as energy, trade, infrastructure, and new technologies, among others. The G20 CWE conference will be taking place alongside the 4th G20 Investment Summit, co-hosted by the German government and the German Business Association. President Tinubu will return to the country following the conclusion of the conference. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has announced the immediate cancellation of the automatic deduction of 40% from the internally generated revenues (IGR) of federal universities. Citing the ill-timed nature of the policy, the President's announcement was conveyed by the Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, during his speech at the ongoing 75th Founders' Day ceremony of the University of Ibadan on Friday. The policy was originally to commence in November. Universities will have 40% of revenues generated internally and deposited in their account will be deducted automatically by the government via the Treasury Single Account TSA. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare Muhammad Ali Pati says the health of Nigerians was not just a matter of well-being, but also a fundamental human right. Ali Pati made this known at the 64th session of the National Council of Health in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State. Pati says the UHC was the embodiment of vision for a healthier and more prosperous nation and a strategic advantage for Nigeria as a nation. Adding that though great progress had been made over the years, the pace has not been commensurated with the investment and the complexities of the country's health system. According to him, the federal government is putting in place necessary structure and framework to effectively and efficiently address the wider determinants of health. Pati said effective governance is the bedrock upon which UCH stands. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on School Feeding, Yetunde Adeniji, has disclosed that the federal government plans to feed 100,000 displaced children in the north. Adeniji revealed the plan when her delegation sought the support of the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule and the Emir of Burgu Kingdom Mohammed Nturu to help facilitate the program during a familiarization tour. The presidential aide said the federal government planned to start the 5,000 of displaced kids for the first phase of the feeding initiative, with the hope of increasing the number to 100,000 subsequently. This was disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja on Saturday by her media team. The High Court sitting in the Federal Capital Territory has ordered that the former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele be remanded in the Kuje court. The federal government had initially preferred 20 charged on the procurement fraud to the tune of 6.5 billion naira against the former CBN governor. But the federal government reduced the charge to 6 to the tune of over 1 billion naira, which he will be arraigned on Friday. The judge said he needed a little time to study authorities and the peruse through the exhibit supplied by Emefiele to support his request for bail. He, however, ordered that Emefiele be remanded at the Kuje prison pending determination of his bail application. Maazu then adjourned the case till November 22nd for ruling on the bail application and November 28 for the commencement of the trial. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has issued Governor Hope Uzodinma of the All Progressive Congress (APC) with his return certificate in Owerri, the state capital. During the state election on November 11th, Uzodinma geared 540,308 votes, defeating his closest rival, Samuel Anyanwu of the People Democratic Party (PDP), who secured 71,503 votes, and Nneji Anchonu of the Labour Party (LP), who obtained 64,081 votes. The APC candidate swept all 27 local government areas in the state. In his acceptance speech, Uzodinma commended INEC for the conducting of the freest, fairest, and most peaceful election in the history of Imo State. The Independent National Electoral Commission has presented certificates of return to the Governor-elect of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, and his running mate in election, Joel Salifo. The certificates of returns were presented at the INEC headquarters in Lokoja, the state capital, on Friday, amid jubilation by mammoth of crowd supporters. Speaking shortly after receiving his certificate, the governor-elect assured the people that he would make good his campaign promises to build on sterling achievement of Governor Yahaya Bello while preserving the unity of the state. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, in collaboration with the National Commission for People with Disabilities, have launched empowerment scheme for persons with disabilities, as over 150 beneficiaries get POS machines, scholarship, amongst others. Global TV was at the event and brings the complete story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commenced making good his promises to build a renewed Nigeria by empowering persons with disabilities, PWD, gathered in the nation's capital. Speaking Thursday in Abuja while launching the empowerment program, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, said that the empowerment will enable the beneficiaries to provide fishes for themselves instead of being given fishes.
I hereby launch the formal takeoff of the following projects for persons living with disability, which includes, number one, distribution of over 150 POS machines and a take-off sum of 100,000 naira each for operating capital for the beneficiaries.
Speaking earlier, the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, NCPWD, James Daniel Lalong, has lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his initiative targeted at empowering persons with disability.
We have received an express directive from the Office of the President through the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to make sure that we step up our intervention to provide more opportunities for persons with disabilities in Nigeria. I want to use this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for additional appointment for persons with disabilities.
The SSA Disability expressed delight at the 130,000 scholarship intervention to deserving individuals with disability pursuing higher education in tertiary institutions.
What transpired today is clear manifestation that the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President has been kicked off and it has been started.
One of the highlights is the distribution of 150 point-of-sale machines, also known as POS, which will enable individuals with disabilities to engage in entrepreneurial activities and enhance their financial independence. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News. The Kogi State Police Command has said that the arrest of the Kogi State governorship candidate of the Action Alliance, Olayinka Brahma, during the off-cycle governorship election in the state was not in any connection with electoral offences. The command stated that Brahma was arrested by the police because of his disregard for restriction orders. This followed reports that the governorship candidate and some of his aides were arrested in the Kababono local government area of the state for allegedly having in their possession some campaign materials which were kept in his vehicle. The spokesman for the State Police Command, William Aya, clarified that Brimo and his aide's arrest was not related to the rumor offense as reported by other medias, saying it was based on the violation of the order on the restriction of movement on the election day. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Lagos State Command has averted an oil pipeline explosion that would have led to the destruction of lives and property in Alimosho, Lagos State. This is contained in a statement signed by the State Command Public Relations Officer DSC Oluwaseun Abolorin on Friday. Abolorin says that the incident also meant to vandalize the oil pipelines of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation in Liberty Estate and its environments. Alimosho local government area was averted, adding that this was in line with the zero tolerance of the Commander General NSCDC CG Ahmad Audi to prevent all forms of economic sabotage in Nigeria. You're watching Global TV Midday News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTime channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the Midday News returns, Naira rebounds rises to 791 Naira 45 kobo per dollar at the official market. The news continues shortly with details of this and other stories right after this short break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the midday news from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On the foreign scene, the death toll of a strong earthquake of the southern Philippines rose to 7 on Saturday, while rescuers also searched for 2 bodies feared buried beneath the landslide. The 6.7 magnitude quake that struck the Medinero region at mid-afternoon on Friday caused part of the shopping mall ceiling to collapse, triggered power cut, and sent people fleeing into the streets. The earthquake damaged 60 houses in 4 provinces and as well 32 roads and bridges in the region. Rescuers says quakes are frequent in Philippines, which sit along the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic as well as volcanic activity that stretches from Japan through Southeast Asia and across the Pacific Basin. Liberian leader and football legend George Weah conceded defeat to opposition leader Joseph Boakai after a tight presidential runoff, saying it was time to put the national interest above personal interest. The latest and nearly completed result shows Boakai leading with nearly 51% of the votes in Liberia. The result announced tonight, no, not final, indicate that Boakai is in the lead that we cannot surpass. Weah said in a speech on national radio last on Friday. With more than 99.9% of the polling stations reporting vote tallies after Tuesday's second-round vote, Boakai has gained 50.89% of ballot casts, according to the elected commission. The United States congratulated President-elect Boakai on his victory and President Weah for his peaceful acceptance of the result. The elections were the first since the United Nations in 2018 ended its peaceful mission created after more than 250,000 people died in 2 civil wars in Liberia between 1989 and 2003. Indian rescuers have warned that it could take another 2 days of clearing rubble before they can reach 40 workers who have been trapped in a collapsed tunnel for nearly a week. Evacuators have been removing debris since Sunday morning to create an escape route for the workers after a portion of the tunnel they were building collapsed in the Himalayan state of Uttarakhand. Rescue efforts have been slowed by debris that has continued to fall as workers labor to clear the tunnel. Engineers are trying to drive a steel pipe about 90 centimeters wide through the debris, wide enough for the trapped men to squeeze through. As at Thursday night, only 18 meters of pipe had been inserted into the debris with the help of the new machine. Rescuers have been communicating with trapped men using radios, and food, water, oxygen, and medicine have also been sent to the trapped workers via a 6-inch wide pipe. Israeli troops carried out building-by-building searches at Gaza's main hospital as a near communication blackout in the territory on Friday compounded fears for Palestinian civilians trapped inside the facility. Al-Shifa Hospital has become a focal point for Israeli operations in northern Gaza since soldiers raided the complex on Wednesday, hunting for a command center the said military group Hamas operates there. Hamas and hospital managers denied charges, and there have been international concern about several thousand people, including wounded patients and premature babies believed to be trapped inside. Israeli authorities have defended their operations, and the military said it found rifles, ammunition, explosive, and entrance to a tunnel shaft at Al-Shifa. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alleged hostages may even have been held at the medical facilities. The head of the European Union delegation to ECOWAS, Enegba Moma, says her organization has budgeted a total of 24.4 million euros to fight against the proliferation and illicit circulation of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria and other West African countries. She noted that reducing the availability of small arms and light weapons would help curb organized crime in the region. This was as the National Secretary Advisor, Nuhu Rabada, says the proliferation of small arms and light weapons was undermining Nigeria's security, calling for collaborations to end the scourge. This spoke at a roundtable meeting at the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons in Nigeria held in Abuja. In his remarks, the head of the EU delegation to ECOWAS, Moma, said illicit weapons, which are now even more readily available, threaten electoral processes, weaken police authority, promote sexual violence, and undermine security efforts to maintain peace. This is particularly worrisome in the face of rise of criminal activities and violent extremism within the country and beyond its borders. Let's talk business now. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for Economy, Wale Edun, says the present administration is ready to take the risks of borrowing to finance the 2024 budget. Edun explained the initiative is to generate adequate revenue as well as reduce its current high deficit financing. The Finance Minister made the submission when he appeared before the Joint Senate Committee on Finance, Appropriations, National Planning, Local and Foreign Debt, examining the 2024-2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. Kikelomo Okiri has details.
Accompanied by the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue, Zach Adedeji, and the Director General of Debt Management Office, Patient Oneha, Edo explained that the best way Nigeria could fund its annual budget is to spend more money on infrastructure that could generate revenues.
And clearly, in the environment that we have now, both internationally as well as nationally, we are in no position to rely on borrowing. We have an existing borrowing program, and as distinguished Senator Abiru has said, our attempt and our direction of travel is to reduce reliance on borrowing, reduce the quantum and the percentage of deficit financing in the 2024 budget. What is the answer? The number one answer is revenue. Government needs to not just maintain its activity, it needs to spend more. So government needs even more. If you look at government spending, if you look at the budget as a percentage of GDP, ours is one of the lowest, maybe around 10%. Even Ghana is at 25%.
The Chairman Committee on Finance and Senator representing Niger East, Sani Musa, in his remark, expressed strong reservation about the 2024 revenue projection of some of the revenue-earning agencies. He noted that going for external intervention would definitely not be an option because it will further push the country to more deficit financing.
Going for more intervention. When I mean more intervention, that means more loans. which is also detrimental to us because we now increase our deficit. And then also the services that we do to these debts, the burden will increase. Honorable Minister, we have seen a lot of leakages in the use of government resources. A lot of money that are realized or collected as revenues. A lot of agencies do not remit those monies as at when due. I cannot believe that an agency will receive revenue of 2022 and is showing the receipt of collection in October 2023.
Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global Television News.
The Nigerian naira appreciated massively against the dollar on Friday, closing at 791 naira 75 kobo to a dollar at the official market. The naira's gain has come as a relief to many experts who had expected the Central Bank of Nigeria's recent move to clear some of the FX backlog to boost confidence in the currency. The domestic currency appreciated 6.24% to close at the 791 naira 75 kobo to a dollar at the close of business on Friday. Data from the NAFEM, where Forex is officially traded, showed, however, the naira weakened marginally at the parallel Forex market, where Forex is sold unofficially. The exchange rate depreciated by 0.26%, quoted at 1,140 naira to a dollar, while peer-to-peer traders quoted around 1,130 naira 60 kobo per dollar. The Central Bank of Nigeria says its monetary policy reforms are beginning to have positive effects on the country's economy. Reacting to the just released inflation rate for October in a statement issued by the Director of Corporate Communications Department, CBN Isa Abdul Momin, the Apex Bank voted to return to evidence-based monetary policy status to restore stakeholders' confidence in Nigeria's financial system. In October, the CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso said there is an urgent need for discontinuation of unorthodox monetary policies and foreign currency management and unorthodox use of ways and means spending. According to data released by National Bureau of Statistics figures on Wednesday, inflation accelerated to 27.33% in October and a slight increase from September's 26.72%. The Apex Bank emphasized that the current inflation rate underscored the gradual influence of the CBN's money market reforms on the economy. Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen made the final 10-man shortlist for the men's categories of the 2023 CAF Player of the Year award. The 27-year-old is considered to be a top contender for the award following his 8th-place finish at the recent 2023 Ballon d'Or Award in October in Paris, France. According to the CAF release, the ultimate winner of each category will be decided after votes from the voting panel consisting of CAF Technical Committee, media professional, head coaches and captains of members' association and clubs involved in the group stages of the inter-club competitions. The award ceremony is scheduled for December 11 at the Palais de Congrès, Marrakech, Morocco. That is on Global TV Midday News. We are on StarTime Channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Fauziya Lukman. Thank you so much for watching.